Welcome to This Explainer. Today we're diving straight into an epic showdown between the two absolute titans of data interchange to uncover the real engines powering the modern web. You know, if you've ever built an app, queried an API, or set up any modern software stack, you've definitely crossed paths with JSON and XML. But instead of just picking one out of habit, we're going to dig strictly into the data to understand the unique DNA of these two formats.
I mean, really think about it. Every single time you open an app on your phone, data is literally flashing across the world in the blink of an eye. The information feels instantaneous to us, right? But the way that data is packaged, structured, and shipped makes absolutely all the difference in how fast, secure, and reliable your app actually is. So, what exactly is inside that invisible box? Well, for decades now, the answer has largely been a tug-of-war between two dominant formats.
Let's start from the beginning. Section 1, a brief format history.
To really get why these formats are built the way they are, we have to look at where they came from. Back in the late 90s, XML was officially standardized by the W3C. It reigned supreme. It was the structured, document-heavy standard for the enterprise world. But by the early 2000s, web apps started shifting toward dynamic, asynchronous interfaces, what we know as AJAX. And that's when a lightweight JavaScript spin-off named JSON entered the scene. It wasn't formally defined by some massive committee. It just natively took the object model of JavaScript and turned it into this remarkably efficient data format that completely revolutionized web APIs.
Now, XML was originally designed to represent structured documents using a very strict, ordered tree of parent and child nodes. Take the Aadhaar data structure, for example. You can clearly see how the information is nested so meticulously. It's a fantastic, robust model if you need to capture really complex hierarchies and rich document structures. But you can also imagine how parsing that exact tree structure down into simple application memory requires a whole lot of heavy lifting.
Moving right along, let's hit Section 2, syntax, speed, and size.
When we put them head-to-head on their technical specs, it's pretty obvious they're entirely different species. JSON operates as a lean map of objects and arrays. It's got this clean, bracketed simplicity with key value pairs that just instantly make sense to anyone who writes code. XML, on the other hand, spells everything out with explicit start and end tags. Think of XML as that hyper-organized, detail-oriented colleague who documents absolutely everything. It's great for records, but it can get incredibly verbose when you're just trying to move a simple piece of information.
And that verbosity, it has real-world, physical consequences. Because JSON ditches all those heavy closing tags and complex metadata attributes, its payload size is typically 30 to 50% smaller than its exact XML equivalent. When you're operating at scale, sending millions of requests a second, that is a massive amount of bandwidth you are suddenly freeing up on your network.
So, what's the actual takeaway here? Well, this isn't just about abstract code or saving a few bucks on server costs. This size reduction directly impacts us as users. Studies on migrating applications from XML to JSON show a 30% reduction in API response times, 20% less mobile data consumption, and get this, measurably improved battery life for the end user. Why? Because your phone's processor literally doesn't have to work as hard to parse the payload.
The hard evidence really backs this up. Looking at post-method transmission times, as the number of records scales up from 1,000 to 10,000, XML's processing time shoots up dramatically. Meanwhile, JSON's simplistic structure allows it to be parsed natively by modern languages, like using a simple JSON.parse command in JavaScript, which makes it up to 2 to 5 times faster than XML. And that performance gap? It only widens as the dataset grows.
Which brings us to Section 3, security and vulnerabilities.
Because, let's be honest, a fast system that gets compromised is just a system that fails incredibly quickly. Neither format is bulletproof, but they face very different threats. JSON is generally safer right out of the box because it lacks complex parser features, but it is highly susceptible to injection and insecure deserialization attacks if your application just blindly trusts incoming data. XML, conversely, offers some incredibly robust built-in security features like encryption. But, and this is a big but, its default parser settings often leave you wide open to severe XML external entity, or XXE, attacks. If those parsers aren't strictly locked down, attackers can literally read your local server files. No thanks.
All right, ready for Section 4, the twist, different weight classes.
So far, it probably sounds like JSON is completely winning the speed and efficiency race. But here is the climax of our showdown, and honestly, it's one of the biggest misconceptions in software architecture. This isn't actually a fight to the death, because they aren't even in the same weight class. Let's redefine what XML actually is. It is a full, extensible markup language designed with powerful schema capabilities to meticulously describe, structure, and most importantly, validate complex data. It governs exactly what that data is allowed to look like, making it indispensable for industries where a single missing data field could be an absolute catastrophe.
JSON, on the flip side, is exactly what its name implies, a notation. It is purely a lightweight data format built for one thing: moving data seamlessly and rapidly between systems. It doesn't natively validate itself, and it doesn't format documents. It's basically a highly efficient courier, delivering the exact package you asked for with zero extra wrapping paper.
And to add a plot twist to our showdown, the binary era is upon us. New, highly specialized binary formats and query languages are stepping into the ring to handle ultra-high throughput tasks that neither JSON nor XML were really built for. We're talking about Google's protocol buffers, which honestly make JSON look a bit bloated, or GraphQL, which totally flips the script on how clients request data. We even have MessagePack and CBOR taking over for IoT devices. The whole ecosystem is specializing so rapidly.
So, let's bring it all together in Section 5, the Format Fit Test.
Instead of asking that tired old question of which is better, let's upgrade our thinking. Let's use the Format Fit Test to see which tool you should deploy for your specific job. You should firmly choose XML when you're dealing with enterprise legacy systems or SOAP web services. If you're working in finance, government, or healthcare, industries with absolutely zero tolerance for data errors where validation is non-negotiable, XML's robust schema architecture is exactly what you need. For sure, it's also the undisputed choice for complex, document-centric publishing.
Meanwhile, JSON is the reigning champion for modern REST APIs. If you're building fast-loading mobile apps, real-time dashboards, chatting services, or working heavily within a microservices architecture, JSON is your best friend. It just gets out of the developer's way, minimizes bandwidth, and maximizes raw parsing speed.
Ultimately, the most pragmatic, battle-tested architectures out there often use both. We frequently see JSON handling all the high-speed, customer-facing mobile traffic, while XML works quietly in the background, securely validating massive enterprise integrations. As the modern web expands into agentic AI and globally distributed microservices, having mastery over both is the true developer superpower.